The families of debilitated former NFL players say the league is obstructing their access to an estimated $1 billion settlement over concussions by reflexively rejecting valid claims and bogging down the process with unreasonable demands. The families and their lawyers describe a succession of roadblocks as they try to claim payouts, from as little as a few $1,000s to potentially several $1 million, to help thousands of retired players left mentally infirm, in some cases severely, from years of hits and tackles on the league's fields. When the league agreed to the settlement several years ago, retired players were told that they could expect speedy payouts, assuming the diagnoses for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and other ailments covered in the settlement were in order. But the NFL installed so many safeguards and trapdoors into the deal, lawyers for the players said, that in the 8 months since the court-approved administrator of the settlement began accepting claims, many players have been forced to spend months scrounging for paperwork they did not think they had to keep, finding new doctors to confirm established diagnoses, and lodging time-consuming appeals. The requests, the league said, are part of its efforts to deter potential fraud and do not represent foot-dragging or a lack of will to help the sick men. But as a result, the players now accuse the nation's richest league, with $14 billion in revenue, of trying to wear them down so they accept smaller payouts, or none at all. Players will be shorted what they earned, said Andrew Stewart, a retired defensive lineman with Parkinson's disease who expected to receive nearly $3 million but, after a series of delays and requests, has been offered less than a third of that amount and is appealing. This is not a settlement. This is about paying sick men as little as possible. Stewart, who was in the league from 1989 to 93 and now lives in Canada, received a Parkinson's diagnosis nearly a decade ago and has been receiving aid from 2 NFL benefit plans, but to receive money from the settlement, he was required to get a diagnosis from an American doctor. Alerted to some of the delays and accusations of unfairness leveled by lawyers for the players, Anita B. Brody, the federal judge overseeing the case, will meet with the NFL, the plaintiff's chief lawyer and a court-appointed administrator on Monday in Philadelphia to look at ways handle claims more efficiently and more transparently. Like an insurance company, they deny everything, and they go through a series of denials until people give up, said Shayla Dingus, who runs Advocacy for Fairness in Sports, an unaffiliated nonprofit group that monitors the league's legal cases. Unfortunately, the NFL has the capital to keep this going a lot longer than some of these players will live. Orrin Brown, the court-approved administrator of the settlement, said it was common for the parties to settlements to fine-tune their agreements to account for issues that arise. He said that players are now, for instance, being asked to turn in the raw scores from their neurocognitive exams even though that was not explicit in the original agreement.